Hello, lovelies. Welcome back. First, I just want to thank you all so much for your support. You have all been so wonderful to me, and I have really enjoyed making these videos with all of you, and I look forward to making more. And while we're on the subject, I want to take this opportunity to gather some feedback from you guys. Things like what I can do better, maybe some ideas on what you would like to hear me talk about, or any questions you might have. There are so many trans-related topics. It's kind of hard to pick one to start with. With all that being said, the thing I'd like to talk with you about today is support and how important having a support network is. Whether you're just beginning your transition or you have been transitioning for a while, a support network is a great thing to have. I understand that not everyone has a family or friends that they can talk to, about this stuff. That's why I wanted to make this video and to talk to you about some of the alternatives. The first alternative would probably be, I think the best bet would probably be a licensed therapist. This is probably your best bet, but not everyone has the means or the money in general to see a professional, as they can be expensive and, it can be quite a long drive to go see these, because they can be hard to find. But also, there's another option when it comes to professional therapy. There's online therapy, via webcam. So that's also an option. It costs a little bit less money, and you don't have to travel if you have a tablet or a computer. Even a phone, I think, actually. All you need is Skype. Another option, which is probably the easiest option for most people, is going to be Facebook. Okay? Facebook has many groups that are specifically for transgender people and, just the trans community. One of my favorites is, it's called Transgender Support Circle. The people on there are super welcoming. They're kind, they're understanding, and very knowledgeable. The admins on there are super watchful, and they make sure you're always safe from any type of harassment or transphobia. It's just a great place to talk to people that, you might relate with, or even just hang out there and read some of the, the posts and kind of just, be yourself and relax and be in a very safe environment. I recommend that after you watch this video, you go on Facebook, join the group, say hi, and introduce yourself. You won't regret it. Again, it's called Transgender Support Circle. Another thing I want to talk about too, while we're kind of talking about this whole support, is you want to make sure you don't tell anyone that you don't trust. I understand that for some of us, it's not easy to, maybe we're not able to come out right now. Maybe it's just not, an option right now. Or, maybe you're just not ready to yet. And that's okay. No one can tell you when to transition. It's never too soon and it's never too late. It's all when it's it's all on your time. So, don't let anyone pressure you. Don't feel any pressure. You come out whenever you're ready. But I do want to make that clear. Don't just tell anybody. Make sure you, say if you're in high school, you probably don't want to tell someone that you can't trust. And it goes around the whole school. And then, transitioning is very hard. I wouldn't say hard, but it can be very emotional and even physically draining. And that's why it's so important to have a support network, so you have someone to talk to, someone, to relate to, someone that might even know exactly, what's going on. And there's a lot of other benefits to, having a support network as well. Maybe, you're completely comfortable with being who you are, but you need some makeup tips or some fashion tips or, just basically whatever, maybe some tips on how to be more feminine. I know that I myself looked at a lot of videos here on YouTube. There wasn't too many to choose from, but I did look up videos on here a lot, and there's a lot of things I was curious about, makeup tips, even shapewear. I had never heard of shapewear or breast forms or anything like that before I, started Googling things and whatnot, and that was just a big help to have. Also, I want to talk to you about too is there's somebody in your life somewhere that you can talk to about these things. You just have to be bold enough to, to go for it. And that's what it comes down to, is just kind of going for it. I was lucky enough to make a friend as I was coming out. She literally was my angel sent from above. It was scary at first, but she made it very easy for me to talk to her. She was someone I always looked up to, basically it was her kindness and how she loved everybody, that made me feel so comfortable, to talk to her and to, confide in her. And like I said, I was very scared at first. I didn't really know her that well. I just knew, she was a girl from the neighborhood, and, we hung out a couple times here and there. So I knew who she was, and I always seen, and when I did hang out with her, I'd always see how kind and how, she's just such a beautiful, beautiful woman, inside and out. She has a great heart, a great soul, and, I'm just so blessed to have someone like that in my life. In fact, she is a big reason why I decided to make these videos. She really is. I try to be more like her, like, every day. I really, really do. We need more people like her in the world. So shout out to my best friend in the world, Brittany Scott. Love you. So just to get back on topic, another thing I want to talk about is, your own safety. Having a support network is also important, like having friends. You don't ever really want to go out alone. You always want to have a friend with you and let someone know where you're going to be, like where you're going, how long you should be gone for, and, when to expect you back. It's very dangerous for anybody, really. Especially trans people. It can be super dangerous for trans people, and I mean, it's a really good idea to have a friend with you, someone that you trust with you. Even if you're say if you're going out on a date or something, definitely let somebody know where you're going. Just let them know where you're going and what time to expect you back, and maybe send them a text or have them send you a text on the time an agreed upon time of when you're supposed to be back. To be honest, I myself have had my fair share of, dangerous moments or trans violence, I guess you would say. I've experienced my own fair share of this. One of the most memorable times I experienced trans violence was, there was a night that what had happened was my dryer had broke, it went out, and I needed to get some laundry done, and it was probably 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had to rush all the way to the laundromat, which, I live way out in the country, so it was a 30-minute drive. I got to the laundromat, and I had forgotten, all my stuff, all my soap and my, dryer sheets, and they didn't have any for sale there. So what I ended up having to do was driving to the nearest Walmart While I was at Walmart, I was getting my dryer sheets and my, fabric softener and, laundry detergents. And while I'm shopping, I had noticed someone, kind of following me, and, he had said hi. It wasn't anything like even creepy or whatever. It was, he was smiling. He did not look like like a particularly creepy person. So anyway, I go about my business. I'm checking out of the store, and that's when, I noticed him standing like at the other end of the store at like the cash registers, and then he was kind of waving and like hi and smiling. And so I, was walking out of the store. I got in my car, and as I was pulling out, like driving through the parking lot and pulling onto the road, that's when I had seen him. Again, he was like right behind me. Like I was like, okay, that's a little weird. As we're pulling out and we're going, it's a 2 lane, road. He pulls next to me and he's trying to say something to me, and I roll the window down. I'm like, what? Like, I can't hear you. And, and I really couldn't hear him at the time. So I slowed down, rolled the window down, and I said, what? And then he said, he motioned to me to like pull over and like follow him and like go with him. And he was making some very obscene gestures. And I was like, no, thank you. I have stuff to do. And at this point, I'm like coming up on the laundromat. Like, this went on for a while. He was making the obscene gestures for like a while, for miles. And I was coming up on the laundromat, and I didn't want to pull in there because I didn't know like what he was going to do. When I slowed down, he would slow down. When I sped up, he would speed up. So basically, what I tried to do was I, just tried to keep driving. And that's when I noticed he was getting angry, is when we were passing, we were coming up to the park, which is about 2 miles away. He was getting like angry that I was like kind of ignoring him and not talking to him. And I wasn't being rude, but he's like swerved his car at mine a bit. He had like a big Suburban. He like swerved it at mine. I was like, oh my God. So that's when I knew things were getting serious. And then I tried to like speed up and kind of run away. And, we're in the middle of the city. I don't know where I'm going. Like, no, I don't know the area very well. I don't really know where I'm going. So I'm just trying to drive fast to get away from him. And I drive a little Ford car, like a little 4-cylinder. He's got the big V8 Suburban. And there's no way I was going to outrun him. That's when I look over and I see him pointing a gun straight at my face. It was clearly a gun. No doubt about it. He was pointing a gun at me, and I just slammed on the brakes so hard. I turned around the middle of the street, and there's like 4 lanes here at this point, and I just start booking it the other way. I'm going as fast as I can, trying to find a cop, trying to find somewhere that's open and safe to go, but nowhere's open. The closest place is Walmart, so that's where I'm heading back to, I guess. And he followed me every turn of the way. By the time I came to Walmart, there was no way I could pull in there, so I just kept driving and driving and driving until, for probably about 30 minutes, until, I acted like I was going to go straight through the green light at this one turn, and I just turned right really fast. I like almost lost control of the car. It was so bad. And then, by the way, I forgot my phone at my house, so I couldn't call 911. I had no cell phone. I had no way to get help. Anyway, I had lost him, and I made sure before I went home that he didn't follow me. But that's just one of the scary things that have happened to me, and I kind of wanted to share that with you guys. Just to let you know that anything could happen at any given time. I don't know if this is because maybe he knew I was transgender, or maybe, he just thought I was, an easy, target, being out so late at night, and, being a girl. It's, it's just sad. That's the world we live in, but that is the world we live in. That being said, maybe my next video I'll talk to you about what I've done to, improve, the situation now. Like, now I've learned from that, and I will just tell you, right now, some of the things I do differently. First of all, I always make sure that somebody knows where I'm going and what time to expect me back. I always do that, no matter what, whether it's friends on Facebook or, you know, whatever. Somebody knows when to expect me back and where I'm going to be. Okay, also, I've since gotten, you know, a gun. I carry a gun with me everywhere. And to do that, you need to check your state laws, your local laws. A CCW permit is usually required to conceal carry, but in some states it's not required to open carry. And I've always open carried like the past 7 years or so because of the fact that I want to, well, maybe not 7 years, maybe about 5 years I've open carried, just to inform people that trans people do carry. That's an important thing, I believe, is to show the world that trans people are ready to defend themselves. So, and that's just some of the things I've done. Maybe I'll make a video and show you some of the things that I, bring with me on my, anytime I go anywhere, and, kind of like a checklist of what to do before you go out for the night or, whatever. But that's pretty much all I've got right now, guys. Please like and share the video, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to try to post more videos every day or every other day. Again, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you all later. Make sure to add me on Twitter, Twitch, and Snapchat. I'm going to try to post a link on the video here or in the information to my Snapchat, which is ShadeStepBarbie, and you can catch me on Twitter at Gixxerbae. That's GIXXERBAE, and you can catch me on Twitch at ShadeStepBarbie. You can also add me on Xbox One, ShadeStepBarbie, PlayStation Network, Hero Killa 666. I love you all. Good night, guys. Mwah.